Hello YouTube! Hi, my name is Valerie and I live in South Louisiana, and I am making this blog because I am both a Christian and a homosexual, and I just don't believe that there are a lot of vocal, well-informed people who are both homosexuals and Christians, and I believe that we need to have some really good dialogue facilitated on this issue, especially with things being as they are today, where the climate is so politically charged and so religiously divided that we need to have good open dialogue on this subject. I would like to start off by saying that I'm by no means the spokesperson for all Christian homosexuals, and I don't believe that I'm the only Christian homosexual out there. I just think that we have a responsibility to fight ignorance and spread education whenever the opportunity arises. Unfortunately, I don't really have the resources to be able to go and do a lot of education by other means, but fortunately with technology and the day and age that we live in, YouTube is a really great way to get your message out there. And so this is going to be hopefully the beginning of a very wonderful experience with you, my viewers, and me. So I guess my first video is going to be about the whole Chick-Fil-A controversy. And I wanted to kind of chime in on this because I'm both a member of the homosexual community and the fact that I am a Christian and that I'm also a former employee of Chick-Fil-A. Okay, so it's no big secret that Chick-Fil-A is a biblically based company. They believe in having off on Sunday, they hold to traditional conservative values, and that they support the biblical definition of traditional marriage as being between one man and one woman. Now here's where we have a problem, because technically speaking, the biblical definition of marriage is not really one man, one woman. The biblical definition of marriage is one man, multiple wives, and their concubines. Or if a man commits rape and then he has to marry the woman that he's raped, or if your husband dies and you haven't had a child yet, you have to marry his brother. And if he dies and you haven't had a child yet, then you have to marry the next brother. And if he dies and you haven't had a child yet, you have to marry his brother. And so on and so on and so on. Basically, biblical definition of marriage is kind of like an episode from Jerry Springer. But for the purposes of this video, let's go ahead and define traditional marriage as marriage between one man and one woman, which is the viewpoint that they support. So, unless if you've been living under a rock, this is not really news. Chick-Fil-A has come under a lot of heat in the last few years for how they choose to financially back and support organizations such as Exodus Ministries and other companies that fight to legally define marriage as between one man and one woman. And a lot of times you'll hear cited that in 2010 they donated over $2 million to said organization. So you may be asking yourself, well, if this isn't really news and nothing's really changed, then why is suddenly there being this huge fuss made about the fact that Chick-Fil-A supports organizations like Exodus Ministries? Well, what happened is that a few months ago, Dan Cathy issued a statement in an interview stating that Chick-Fil-A was not anti-anyone, that their only mission and their only concern was to serve great tasting chicken. Then, earlier this month, in an interview with the Baptist Press, he changed his story and he said that Chick-Fil-A was guilty as charged. And then he went on to make statements saying that homosexuals were arrogant and basically saying that we were shaking our fist at God. Well, you're kind of pushing things there, sir, because I'm not shaking my fist at God. I love God. And then there was more controversy because the Henson Company, who is a well-known long-term supporter of civil rights for the LGBT community, issued a statement stating that they were no longer interested in continuing business with Chick-Fil-A. They were at the time providing the toys for the kids' meals. Next thing you know, a sign popped up in one of the mall locations stating that Chick-Fil-A was doing a voluntary recall of the toys that the Henson Company had provided due to a possible safety issue. Well, obviously this came under a lot of attack, and there were tons of memes made through Facebook and Twitter and flooding the internet about how Chick-fil-A was a liar, that they were basically trying to cover their own butts. Whether or not if the recall happened before or after is a topic of a lot of debate. A lot of people say that this was done after the fact. Chick-fil-A issued an official statement on their Facebook stating that they had already recalled the toys way before the Henson Company notified them of their terminated contract. You be the judge. To make this ridiculous situation even more absurd, there appeared a girl on the Facebook page of Chick-fil-A defending the fact that Chick-fil-A had in fact done a recall on the toys from the Henson Company before they had announced that they were terminating their contract with them. The thing is that this particular girl's profile was only created a few hours earlier that day, and her profile picture was later discovered to be a stock photograph of teenage girl. Of course, a lot of people now believe that Chick-fil-A created the profile in order to do public relations damage control. Again, you be the judge. To add fuel to this already flaming topic, a Facebook page entitled "I Bet This Turkey Can Get More Likes Than NOM, or National Organization for Marriage," posted a picture of Bert and Ernie together with a caption that basically said, "Didn't you know we were gay?" To which outraged right-wingers at the Ruth Institute posted an article that basically said, "You guys have been saying that we're paranoid for thinking that you're trying to seduce our children, but here's evidence that you're using Bert and Ernie from the Sesame Street to try to turn our children gay." Really? And from there, this whole thing has kind of snowballed into this huge culture war. You have people like Mike Huckabee, along with the support of former GOP presidential candidate Rick Santorum, who created an event on Facebook called Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day, where they're urging all people who support traditional marriage to go on August 1st to Chick-fil-A and to patronize them with their financial support. In reaction to this, a lot of counter events have been created via Facebook, YouTube, whatever, where there's things like Be Gay at Chick-fil-A or Kiss a Gay at Chick-fil-A Day, where they're encouraging same-sex couples to go into their local Chick-fil-A store and to make out in front of people who they know have a problem with their lifestyle. I personally advise against this. Not only do I think it's immature, but I think it's inciting the possibility of violence and just further instigating an issue that has already divided our country. And there are numerous companies out there that are trying to capitalize on this whole chicken fiasco. Raising Cane's, which is one of the major competitors with Chick-fil-A in the South, posted a picture earlier this week on their Facebook page of one of their combos with a caption that said, "Serving unpartisan chicken since 1996. I don't think we're really going to see an end to this controversy anytime soon. But I have a few things I'd like to say about it. First of all, I think it's important to keep it to perspective that Mr. Cathy was only stating his own personal views. Those viewpoints may or may not be held by your local operator or the staff. And so I think it's ridiculous to try to go and harass them or to egg their employees into a debate that they really can't get into because they're working. They're there to do a job. So I don't know about you, but I can't necessarily just quit my job because the CEO of my company makes a statement that I disagree with. So let's cut them some slack and not harass them and just treat people who actually do have a job and are contributing to society with the respect that they deserve. Secondly, I think that Mr. Cathy has the right to spend his money however he wishes. That's one of the great things about America. And I think it's important to keep in mind that he doesn't strictly donate to companies like Exodus Ministries, but that they also have a scholarship program that helps several of their employees get to college that otherwise would have never had that opportunity. They also support children's homes and numerous other charitable works. I think it's a shame that Chick-fil-A is going to be remembered more as being bigoted chicken than as being the charitable Christian organization that it is by and large. But with all of that being said, I also have the right to spend my money however I wish. One of the things that I think sucks the most about this is that boycotting efforts are not going to hurt Mr. Cathy personally as much as it will the local franchises. And those operators may or may not have those same points of view. It's going to affect the rate at which the employees can get raises. And I think that that's a really sad thing, that innocent people are going to face more of the backlash than Mr. Cathy will. The bottom line is that part of all proceeds do go to him, and he can spend it however he wants. And he's made it very clear that he will continue to contribute to these organizations. These organizations that promote a theology that says that homosexuality is a sin. And I don't believe that's what the Bible endorses. I believe that Jesus said that you would know what was a good teaching based upon the fruit that it bore. And I don't see how anything good has come from this theology that God's against homosexuality. The bottom line for me is that no matter what, every penny spent at Chick-Fil-A is going to have some percentage of it end up back in Mr. Cathy's pocket. And he's made it very clear that he's going to continue to donate to organizations like Exodus Ministries that propagates a message that homosexuality is wrong, that propagates a message that has divided our nations, that has divided our families, that has divided our congregations, and has justified violence in so many people's eyes against the LGBT community. I can't support someone or some organization that's going to send money to help contribute to the suicide of young teenagers. And that's really what happens. Now, yeah, I can't keep up the research on every company that's going to support an ideal that I don't agree with. I don't like all of the influence that money can buy. And I don't have the resources to maintain that list. But there's so many people right now that are aware of Chick-fil-A. There's so many people who are vowing to make a difference. We're seeing whole cities that are saying, you're not welcome here. You're seeing petitions at college campuses, and so much have already been successful to have their Chick-fil-A's removed from their campus because it goes against the principles set up by that establishment. So I think it will make a difference. And it will make a difference to other companies to think about where they're sending their money before they send it. And maybe some other company that's considering donating to one of these organizations will actually listen to people like me. And on a final note, earlier this week, Mr. Don Perry, who handled the public relations for Chick-fil-A, passed away suddenly of a heart attack. Since then, some people have come out and said some horrific things attacking him and his character. And whether or not if they were saying it strictly out of satire or speaking out of their own personal pain, I say shame on you. This was someone's family member or friend. And how dare you make a difficult situation even more unbearable for his loved ones left behind. So I'd like to thank you if you're still watching, and thank you for joining me on my first attempt at making a video blog. I do hope in the future to make them a little bit shorter and not quite so serious. But like I said, I used to work at Chick-fil-A. A lot of my closest friends still do. And I think that this is a really heated topic that we should talk about. I believe that my opinion matters, and I believe that your opinion matters. So I want to hear what you have to say on it in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys later in the week. Until then, I hope you guys have a great day, love each other, and don't limit yourself by your experiences because the world is so much bigger than any of us. Peace out. Peace. There we go. Peace. Okay. Bye.